Welcome everyone to ATI's Lunch Break. I'm Sam Arce, also known as Broadway Sam, and I am so excited today. I have Darrin Murrell, who is our Associate Artistic Director, but that's not why you're here today. Tell us why you're here today. You are the director of our new show. I'm going to kind of pull it up here. Young Frankenstein.
That's right.
Which are currently in rehearsals. Actually, you're going to, right after this, scoot right back up over there.
That's right.
We're doing Young Frankenstein October 24th through November 9th. And we're going to dive right into it and talk about the show.
Sure.
How everything's going on. So, I mean, Darrin, this is a show. We've been talking about this since last year when we decided to do it in the Artistic Committee. Mm-hmm. And I know you were super excited to do it. I'm super excited to do it because it's a Mel Brooks musical.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about this show.
So it follows the same story as the Mel Brooks movie. Mel Brooks wrote this about 10, 12 years ago. It was on Broadway. And it takes everything you love about the movie, all the classic lines and all the characters and everything that has made that movie a modern masterpiece, and adds to it songs and dances,
right.
More jokes, references to other Broadway shows, to other movies, to bits of entertainment history.
It's just the way he is.
To other Mel Brooks
right.
franchises and movies. You know, there's little bits and pieces of everything in there, and it's really just kind of nonstop laughter. And I was telling you right before we started, we're doing the London version, the West End version. So, 10 years or so after it premiered on Broadway, they opened it in London, and Mel adapted it for that audience and cast. And I think he sort of fixed some things that he saw about it after the Broadway show had opened that he wanted to kind of meddle with and
sure.
make a little bit different. And so we're doing that newer version. And honestly, I like it better. You and I were both saying we saw the original Broadway cast.
Right.
And I loved it. But when I read this version, it's just tighter, it's shorter, it's faster, it's funnier. And I think it's a superior version of the script.
And I think that's such an important part of theater is that you constantly, when you look at a show, and I mean, when I first saw it, it's just like any great show, sometimes it needs a little tweak and update. And now we're going to get your spin on it.
Oh, sure.
The ATI. So we're doing it October 24th through the November 9th at the Studio Theater right here in Carmel. It's Broadway in your backyard, I always say that. So Darrin, as I said, you're the artistic director at ATI, and you've directed multiple productions. And I mean, your resume is so vast. You're an actor, director, producer, educator. Your work has gone back from Chicago to Portland. You were in California, I believe. New York. You've been all over. I've been just so inspired watching you as an actor and as a director. I've watched you perform. It's just so much fun. But what excites you most about being a director?
Well, a lot of it is the collaboration. I mean, that's the biggest part of it. That's kind of why a lot of us in the industry do what we do. Is it's this community, and it's a pretty small community, and but of very like-minded people. And so when you get to kind of be the sort of the leader of the group in a way, and the main thing that allows me to do is to assemble the team. And
True.
That's the biggest part of the job.
And you have some team here, the cast. So tell us about the cast. Now, tell me, who's playing Frederick von Frankenstein?
It's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein,
So
yes.
that's Ben Asekwe, and Ben and I have worked together over the years, probably for 15 years here and around Indy, and he's one of a whole crew of people who are playing multiple roles in this show, who we've all worked together a lot. So just like Mel Brooks, I think one of the sort of keys to his success is that he developed this company of players that appeared again and again and again in his movies. And they weren't just doing the lines that he wrote. They were working together to create these pieces. So you get people like Cloris Leachman and
Right.
certainly Gene Wilder and Marty Feldman, and as you go along, Harvey Korman and Dom DeLuise and all these people that
So they collaborated
appear
with them.
in multiple movies. So they're a team, and they speak each other's language, and they make these movies fly because they're having so much fun together. So in this show, I was able to assemble a similar team here locally. So Ben is playing Frederick, John Vessels is Igor,
I had him last week, and he is just incredible.
right? Julie Lynn Barber as Frau Blucher, and Craig Underwood as the monster. My goodness,
That's
and Eric
Julie
Olson.
Lynn, you know her pretty
I
well.
do know Julie. She and I have collaborated over the years. We happen to be married and have kids together.
Well,
as
good. I
well.
just thought I'd mention.
But
yeah,
she and Ben,
she's incredible.
She and Ben did this whole 10-year run of a show that Ben wrote called Cabaret Poe. He originally wrote it up in Chicago, and then he brought it down here to Indianapolis, and it played in multiple venues around Indianapolis for 10 years.
Well, I'm excited to see her because she was in Titanic in the last show, and our last big show, and you played husband and wife in that.
Right.
But she had such an interesting role in that because she played a role where she wanted to be with the upper crust, but was with a man who is a hardworking man, and she has that beautiful voice, great stage presence, and now she's playing this great comedic role. So this really is going to get to show her diversity and the arc in characterization.
Yeah, for
So-
sure. And her song, her big song in the show is based off one of the classic lines in the movie. He was my boyfriend.
Right. Which was Cloris Leachman.
Exactly. So that's the name of the song. So we get that line, and then she sings a whole song about it, and it's a showcase moment. Last night at rehearsal, Judy Fitzgerald, our artistic director, was there, of course, at the tech rehearsal watching, and she was like, "That is a showcase star moment right there."
Well,
And,
you said it a lot. There's so much comedic physicality in this show.
Yeah.
It's a big ensemble. Tell me about Transylvania, the castle setting. How are you doing that? Because we have an intimate, beautiful little theater there. How are you doing that? Like paying homage to the old classic.
I think that you will find this to maybe be the largest set we've ever accomplished. We're going all the way to the sides of the theater, so those two little side rows of seats that are often there are not there.
Yeah.
That's playing space for us now. We've got platforms and playing space over there. It goes deep into the space, and there are these massive rolling wagon units that are often double-sided, and so this backstage, there's just pathways to get around and through stuff, and as pieces are no longer needed, they're getting shoved out into the hallway because there's no room for
There's
them
no
to
room,
live
right, yeah.
backstage. So, and the backstage choreography is a whole show in itself. They're back there quietly turning units from one side to the other so that it's ready to come on for the next scene as something different than it was before. And it's a whole moving, choreographed piece of scenery. The general setting of it, so the stage is set as kind of a classic Gothic castle. I mean, it big stone walls and gargoyles and torches on sconces, and yet we kind of went with, because of the theatricality of it and the fact that one of the biggest scenes in the movie, the putting on the Ritz, when he introduces the monster, is set in a theater.
Right.
We were like, well, what theater would that be? What is that theater in Transylvania? There's some little theater
Gotta
in
be.
1930s Transylvania. So there are elements of the set that make the whole thing. It could feel like a castle. It could also feel like a Gothic theater. There are footlights. There's a rounded edge to the front edge of the stage. There are curtains, red curtains draping the framing of the portals. And I think it's a really unique and, like I say, one of the largest and most complex scenic designs we've ever had. Jay Gans, by the way, is our scenic designer for that. And our TD for this show works with Jay regularly. They are a team at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis and the Lilly Theater, but also all of the exhibitions that go up in that world-class museum. These are the guys that are responsible for designing and building those over there. So we've got them here on this project, and it's just elevating it to this level of sort of artistic precision that I think people are going to be impressed by.
And what a better time to do it. I mean, we're in October. We're just a week away from Halloween.
Right.
So strategically picked when you think about it. And we're going to have opportunities for people to come
We
costumes.
encourage people to come in costume. And if we do have multiple costumes on a night, some of our characters might end up, pointing that out, or, we'll highlight that in some way.
Well, that's great. So let me ask you this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to back up just a second, because I don't want to give this away. But if folks come to see the show, when you're talking about the set, there are elements of the set that are direct homages to Mel Brooks and his movies and Gene Wilder and the history of this piece. So if you look closely,
there's little carrots there. Little
little Easter eggs all over the place.
Love that.
Yeah.
I was in London a few weeks ago, and I saw the producers, and there's a part in it where one of the actors speaks, but it's actually Mel Brooks, and it's Mel's voice.
Yes.
And I always remembered that from the original. And anytime you hear, Mel's not a youngster anymore. And but he's
going to be in Spaceballs too.
That's right. He's going to be in Spaceballs. He's so iconic.
Yeah.
And his beautiful wife, who's since gone Anne Bancroft, talk about such a different, in there, and she was so elegant, and the epitome of elegance, and yet they had such a love affair, and so we're so.
And I think one of his underappreciated films was To Be or Not to Be.
Yes.
Of course, it was a remake of the original Jack Benny movie, but the two of them obviously got to play together in that show, and it's got real serious underpinnings, and it's drama.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So now, because it's a local professional theater, ATI, we're Broadway in your backyard in Carmel. You might ask how this regional theater context shapes the production and cast and design to the local audience. So, when we chose this, we put a lot of thought into, this, and again, you're a big part of how we kind of come through looking for the right shows, for this. And in picking this, this has song, dance, comedy, physical theater, and we wanted something that would really kind of be just, we hadn't done this before.
Right.
So you're getting to direct. I think this is the first Mel Brooks musical that we've ever done.
For sure.
And what else has been exciting for you in doing this show?
Well, one of the you were saying kind of what is it to the local community, and one of the things that I was excited about by programming the show was that I knew that we were going to attract those top level actors that we just listed off earlier, them and more. Megan Arrington Marks is in it. I think I said Eric Olson, and this incredible Adam Shapiro.
Yes.
He's amazing as the Hermit, of course, the Gene Hackman role. And an incredible chorus, almost entirely locally based. And as you know, we don't have an enormous community of professional equity actors in Indianapolis. And there are 3 or 4 companies in town that, use all of these actors. And so we're sharing their time. And often we'll program a show and we'll hope and say, I know that these people here locally in the community would be perfect in these roles. But then they've taken a contract somewhere else at one of the other theaters in town and are not available to us. So programming a show that people want to do, that doesn't get done a lot and has these showcase roles in it, it really kind of puts us first in line for access to the top talent in town, because they want to do this show. Of course, they want to work here with us, but they also want to work with all the other theaters too. I
Sure.
mean, there's no, it's an equal
Absolutely.
playing field. So it then becomes a decision about, oh, well, which roles am I most interested in? Which stories am I most interested in telling? And if we are able to program the stories that they really want to do, like I say, we'll kind of have first right of refusal to a lot of the availability of that talent, and that just helps us by using local actors. Obviously, it's putting the money back into the local economy because
Absolutely.
they're getting those salaries and spending that in the local community, and it's just continuing that cycle of economic
And we're going to
development.
get back to that too. So let me ask you this: could I ask about any standout technical challenge? I know costumes. I know John said to me last week he had his temporary costume because you were waiting for the costumes to come. And I mean, given the monster, there's a laboratory. I mean, there's a lot there. It's a big show.
Yeah. So the laboratory, I mean, I guess that's really presented the largest challenge, and we knew there was only so much we could do
Sure.
with that because, as you say, our technical aspects are limited. We basically, share that space with
Right.
the Center for Performing Arts. We're not the only people that use it, so we don't have a permanent setup in there where we can rig, elaborate stuff. So we have to put stuff in a week, whatever we're going to use for the show, and then take it out when we're done. So we couldn't do, we couldn't have big, Jacob's ladder electronic machines and Tesla coils with
Right.
sparks flying,
Right.
and for fire marshal safety reasons we
Sure.
couldn't have all kinds of
Right.
any kind of explosives or effects like that. So we knew we were going to have to do that with lighting and as much as we could, and we fortunately had this great lighting designer, Dustin Druckman, comes in out of Columbus, Ohio, to help us out, and he's done great things with the lighting. But I said the one thing I'd love to have, if we could make it happen at all, and as you know, we don't have any fly space, and that's rigging above the stage where you can raise and lower things. Often in theaters, you'll see a piece of scenery coming down from on high, a backdrop or some set piece, and then flying out again. And we just don't have that. The ceilings are whatever,
And
20
yet,
feet high.
I have to say, I've seen so many things that you've done, and still, I don't miss it because of the way you stage it, and the
Right.
actors just keep me mesmerized.
Right.
And I see so many Broadway shows where there's so much of that,
Sure.
and yet it's the actors that are really
Right,
keeping
and
me.
that's the name of our company, right?
Right.
Actors Theater of Indiana. It's about the acting. We want the focus on the storytelling, on the acting, and the tech is there, but it's not the focus. But the one thing I said I'd love it if that slab, if the
Yes.
operating slab could raise
Yes.
into the air some way. And of course, usually when it's done, it's hung from above, and
Right.
it's lowered and raised and whatever. And we couldn't do that, so our set designer looked into some options. And I don't want to give away exactly how it's done, but we decided to do it a little comically, where it raises and lowers very slowly and doesn't go very high. We get about 2.5 feet of rise out of it, but he goes up in the air. It goes up in the air, and then it comes
Enough
back
for the
down.
imagery of it.
Absolutely, and I was like, we made that happen.
Now, so there's great songs in this show,
Oh, yeah,
and they're
funny.
funny.
Yeah.
And what are your standout moments in the show that for you? And
I love Frederick and Igor when they first meet out in the train station at Transylvania Station when Frederick first arrives. That's the walk this way, no, this way. They have a whole song there when they meet called Together Again for the First Time, and it's a complete vaudeville two-hander number. It's like a yaka yaka yaka, and it's right out of vaudeville, and that's my wheelhouse. That's my favorite style of comedy and music, and just that showy vaudeville shtick. And these two guys
Just
kill
go at
it, and that's one of my favorite moments in the show. I love Frau Blucher's number a lot. Elizabeth has a very funny song. I won't give away the double entendre at the end after she and the monster, after "Oh, Sweet Mystery of Life at Last I Found." She's got a whole number after that that's sort of expands on that scene, and it's very funny. So there's a lot. There's a lot. And musically, Nathan Perry is our music director, and he's done such a terrific job. But one thing Mel did, Mel wrote the music too.
Sure.
Wrote all the music and lyrics, as well as the script. And it's a pastiche. It's a whole patchwork of the history of musical styles. So there are jazz, like serious jazz, complicated jazz chords in the song called Surprise. And there's that vaudeville I mentioned. There's like a complete, Broadway song and dance section. There's a barbershop quartet. There's kind of a classical allusion. So every style of music is represented somewhere in the show. It's not every song kind of sounds a little like the other, completely different every time that orchestra fires up.
You sound like you're having a lot of fun. So now, what's your rehearsal process like for a show? I mean, is a lot of physical comedy.
Yep.
You have the ensemble's working. They have to get this done, so they get their scripts, a month in advance? And
Well, yeah, it's available to them a month in advance, and it's up to the actor. Everybody has their own process. Some actors like to walk in cold on day one and not having looked at a thing and just experience it during the course of the process. Some come in completely memorized. They know everything about the script before they ever get there, and they're ready to roll. Either way, it works. So our rehearsal process is 2.5 weeks, basically. And each of the first 2 weeks are 35-hour weeks. So we're only doing, 5-6 hours a day, something like that. And we spend the first 2 days learning the music. So the first 2 days is around the piano. We go through the entire score. Everybody learns it. And then we never go back to plunk notes or learn it again. That's the only time you get to learn your songs. And then the next couple of days is usually focused on choreography, because the dances are things that have a lot of repetition to get them into your brain. So we get the choreography out of the way next. And then we spend a couple of days staging it.
So the blocking.
Blocking. So I'll get up as the director then at that point and go scene by scene and say, okay, here's where you move, here's where you stand, here's this picture over here that I'm trying to create with your bodies and whatever. And as we're going through that, the actors may have questions about some of the lines. How might I approach this line? What's the inflection here? What's the mood, or what's the intent?
Sure.
And we'll have those conversations as we go. But that whole process is done by day 2 of week 2. So we take a week and 2 days to put the entire show together mechanically. Learn the music, learn the dances, learn the movements and the placements. And then we spend 3 days just running it from the top of the show, and it's clunky, and
Right.
we make mistakes, and we figure out where those mistakes are, and I see things, or the choreographer sees things that we're like, that doesn't look the way I hoped it would. We need to make a little adjustment here. And then by the end of week 2, it's done. The show is learned, it's run, it's polished, and all of the mechanical work of it is done. And then the half a week that's left is tech.
Right.
And that's completely about the designers and the technicians and adding lights and sound and costumes and props and everything else.
And then you have a dress rehearsal.
Yeah, we get 2 full runs. So on Tuesday night we tech Act 1, which means we're not going straight through the show. We're kind of starting and stopping and fixing technical things. Wednesday afternoon we do the same thing for Act 2. Then Wednesday night we get our first run through in costumes with all the tech in place. Thursday afternoon we get our second full run through, costumes, lights, everything. Then Thursday night we have an invited audience. Right. And this time around, we've got 120 people coming from various senior centers and senior living centers
Which is
around
so
the
wonderful.
area. And at no charge to them,
Right.
they come and see the show.
It's to give back to the community.
Well, and it's also an opportunity for us to get an early indication of reactions, audience reactions, before we have the paid audience in. Where are they going to laugh? Do we need to leave some space here so they're not missing a line after the laugh? Are there things that are not going to get a laugh and we need to speed through those, or whatever the case may be? So it's beneficial on both sides, and then that's it. Then Friday night we open.
Sure, and if you can make them laugh, And the cast kind of knows, oh, I've got to pause a little bit because this is really funny.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, because then we have our big opening night on Friday.
Yep, with the big party at Vivant.
Yep, that's right. And then we have the Ovation Society. We have a
Pre-event.
pre-event. So
Yep.
a lot of great things.
Yep.
This is just so exciting. And, you know, I'm so glad that you're at the helm of this show because I know you're not, you know, this is one where you're not actually in the show.
Right.
You know, because you couldn't do, that would have been difficult.
Yeah, I never,
you know,
I'm not a big fan
direct
of
yourself.
actors
Right,
directing
yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different in a movie. But to be in a play or a musical, too much.
Yep.
There's just so much involved and so many things. And this has been so much fun because we wanted you to kind of understand the ins and outs of what goes on here. And as I said, every week at ATI Actors Theater of Indiana, this is Broadway in your backyard. You are getting quality theater, equity actors, actors that this is what they do professionally. This is their life. So, you know, with Darrin, this is what he's been doing, you know, for all these wonderful actors that we are bringing to you. You're getting an opportunity to see a great show. And my challenge to you is if you haven't bought tickets, do it. First off, Friday night, our opening night is completely sold out.
The first weekend is
That's right.
getting close.
It's getting pretty close. But don't let that deter you because we are going to be opening, as I said, through November 9th. And how do you get tickets? Well, real simple. You can go to atistage.org and you can get your tickets there, or you can call 317-843-3800. And here's another thing you can do. Make a night of it. Or if you're going on the weekends, there's all the wonderful restaurants we have. You know, I always recommend there's Vivant, the Hotel Carmichael, the great cake bake shop. I just went the other night. I went to Salt for the
did
first
you?
time.
Yeah.
Oh, had a wonderful meal. In fact,
They have
after
a seafood tower. I'm a
That's
big
right.
fan of a seafood
I
tower.
have to tell you, I went, so John Murphy, our board president, and I went last week after our board meeting, went and had dinner, had a wonderful time. If you haven't been to Salt, it's where Matt the Miller's was. It's a beautiful, they've redone it, so definitely recommend that place. But there's Roma, there's so many great places to eat right here in Carmel, so make a night of it. We have a beautiful community, great places to go, and you know, we're not the only show in town. So you know, there's Actors Theater of Indiana, there's Gregory Hancock, there's a Civic, there's a Palladium. There's, you know, so much to do here. But come see our shows. And the other thing is, we are a non-for-profit, so we depend on the support of our community, and there's so much that we get from the people in our community. There's people in our community that not only give their money, but give their time. They house the actors. And, you know, at this time of year, at this time to put on a show, we couldn't do it without the Jill Zanekers. So, name some of the people that help us.
Oh, Linda Goki Katz,
right.
Jennifer Hirschberger. My goodness. Well, you mentioned John Murphy and the Selvios are housing people. Did I say Don and Linda Goki Katz?
Yes.
Absolutely.
There are so many, and for all those that I don't mention, I want to tell you, and then the people behind the scenes are board members, the people that are on staff, Meg and Brad Osborne that are in our marketing, everything that goes on. We couldn't do it without our help. And our artistic director, Judy Fitzgerald. I'm telling you, you are in for just a treat. Darrin and the team here have put together just an amazing show. And that's not all. Coming after this, we're going to be doing our next show. I'm going to let our wonderful associate director, well, our associate artistic director, tell us our next show. Just a little bit about Lucky Stiff, which is going to be our next show coming in January through February for Valentine's Day. Tell us about that show.
It's hilarious. It's another comedy. It's a murder mystery, which we've been doing in that slot, in that January, February slot for the last couple of years. And this one's a lot of fun. It's written by Ahrens and Flaherty, who are the playwriting duo that did Ragtime and Seussical and Once on This Island,
Which
and
was
some
won the
great
Tonys,
shows,
right?
This was their first collaboration. This is the first show they wrote together. It's based on a book called The Man That Broke the Bank at Monte Carlo. And the story is about a guy whose uncle, a estranged uncle that he didn't really know very well, has passed on, and is going to leave his nephew this vast fortune. But in order to inherit it, he has to somehow get his dead uncle's body to Monte Carlo to have one last go at the casino at Monte Carlo. And and if he doesn't do that, all the money's going to a dog shelter. So the representative from the dog shelter is involved trying to stop the man from accomplishing his goal.
Everything possible to make it not happen.
But we have one of the actors plays the dead uncle, and he's dead through the entire show, just like Weekend at Bernie's. And he's in a wheelchair, and he's got sunglasses on and a hat, and they're wheeling him around and propping him up and making him look like he's doing stuff, but he's really dead. That actor is none other than Broadway Sam.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm excited to be doing that, and we're doing it, like I said, at a really fun time. And the last show we're doing, which is probably one of my favorites of all time, and that is Andrew Lloyd Webber's Sunset Boulevard,
Yep.
which actually just won the Tony for the musical revival this last year, and no other than our Judy Fitzgerald will be playing Norma Desmond, and
Iconic Norma Desmond.
that's right, and she is ready for her close-up.
Yes.
And we have, you have assembled a cast, and there are surprises, not ready to tell you everything, but that are people that are going to be in the show. You are going to want to get tickets. So same thing, atistage.org, 317-843-3800. There are so many exciting things going on at Actors Theater of Indiana, and we would love your support. There's no amount too small, no amount too big, to help us to do what we do. Because, as I said, in a non-for-profit, we couldn't do it without the help of our patrons, from the support from the city, from our board members, from people. This is my give back. I support this theater, and I'm involved with professional theater on Broadway, the West End, but it's because this is where I want to invest my time, my energy, my resources, because this is where it's at. We have so much to give here. And the last thing that we're doing, and this is new, Darrin and our esteemed group here have put together, and that you can get this through our marketing committee. You can talk to Meg, is our murder mystery dinner theater. This is so cool. Tell us a little bit about this, Darrin.
It's like a mystery show on demand. We actually bring it into your house, or if you prefer, some venue that you have acquired, or your office it could happen in if you want to do an office party out of it. But you and 4 other guests, a total of 6 guests would be the suspects in this murder mystery. And we send 3 professional actors in to be the detectives, and then there's one that plays a character that I won't give away here. It's part of the mystery of it. But a couple of detectives come in to solve this mystery, and we provide you with everything you need in advance, including invitations to your partygoers that tell them who their character is and what their story is once they arrive. And you provide the dinner and everything, but we bring the whole show. We bring some props, we bring some costume pieces, and when everybody shows up for dinner, they're given packets of dossiers of clues and
like
information.
a dossier.
Yes. So you get your mystery dossier, and it's revealed a round at a time. We do 6 rounds throughout the evening where you have a chance to ask questions and try to figure out the clues, and you've got your notebook, and you're trying to solve the mystery as it goes as well, but you might be the actual murderer. You don't find out until the end. So it's a lot of fun. It's a fun evening for a group of friends. If you want to have a nice dinner party with something interesting going on, that's not your usual dinner party.
Well, something new from ATI, Actors Theater of Indiana, Murder Mystery Dinner Theater. So something you can not only have in your, well, you literally could have it in your backyard,
Sure.
in your home.
Yeah, we could do a picnic
That's
theme,
right.
sure.
You're right. Could be in your home. This would be a great present for Christmas to give.
Oh, sure.
You know, it'd be a wonderful a gift. You know, when you're thinking of something to give your, you know, your husband or wife or for the holidays, this is thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
So just something to do. Well, I just want to say this has been wonderful, Darrin. I mean, as we say, we never say good luck in theater because that's bad luck. We say break a leg. And I am so excited. We are doing so many wonderful things here at ATI. I mean, this season has been incredible. Next season
Oh, well, so
is
far.
going to be even just equally or even more exciting. And what's on the horizon is just incredible.
I
and
agree.
I would say unbelievable. So, Darrin, thank you. I know you have to get back
I gotta
because
run.
you've got to run. You've got tech
They
rehearsals.
start in
and
10 minutes.
That's right.
They're waiting
so,
on me.
So yes, right. And they can't captain the ship without the captain. So thank you.
Thanks,
God bless
Sam.
you. And we'll see you for opening Friday night. So go break a leg.
Thanks
and,
so much.
Thanks to the team. All right. With that, that's a wrap. And we'll see you. I'm Broadway Sam and Darrin Murrell. And we're out. See you at our show, Young Frankenstein. Don't miss it because you'd regret it. You are going to have so much fun. God bless to you and your family. Have a wonderful rest of the week and see you at ATI, Actors Theater of Indiana, Broadway in your backyard.